Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some wonderful trades. And let's dive right into the analysis because we could see that Nvidia just had earnings and the stock closed at 305, but it is currently trading. I believe the close was at 385 after its earnings. So in the after hours, you can see that the stock pumped up over 25%. Absolutely crazy. Indeed, we are in AI mania. Right now, the Nasdaq had a bit of a down day. Again, to me, I don't think the real sell-off has started in the traditional markets because of the amount of volume that we're getting in these intraday, these daily candles. Only 89 million shares traded, and 86 million the day before. Again, no real volume. If you get over 100 million, 120 million in one trading day, and you get a very big sell-off, then I think that's going to be your topping candle right there. But to me, this looks like we could potentially be getting ready for another potential leg higher, at least to 27. 40, sorry, not 27, 425, and then potentially coming back down afterwards. So I think that scenario is very likely to happen now after such a good earnings report. And we got the FOMC minutes today, and the market was indeed hyping up, getting a little bit of a rally on that. But anyways, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. After all, today Bitcoin got a bit of a down day, down over 2.5%, I believe. Oh wow, down 3.5%. And we just opened a new daily candle. Now let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart on Market Cipher on the daily time frame. So right now we can see we just printed a 17 and a -5 on the dual band strength index. Again, I still think it's very possible now that Bitcoin may come back down to 25,200 to as low as 24,256, right? So in between this range, I think you got a really good chance of catching a very nice long position on Bitcoin if we were to go down to this area. Again, we're gonna have to see how the traditional markets act tomorrow, because if we get some more upside tomorrow in the traditional markets, the Nasdaq, the S&P, the Russell 2000, then you are indeed going to see Bitcoin rally as well. And this may indeed mark the low for Bitcoin if we get a nice rally day tomorrow. But we'll have to follow up on that, because right now, on some shorter time frames, you can see that Bitcoin is starting to cross over potentially. No, not yet, but we are at the zero line in terms of money flow. But Bitcoin is overall still holding the $26,250 level at the moment. So we might get another green dot. Maybe we'll get a pop back up if we get some upside in the traditional markets, which is looking like it's going to be very likely. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin on Wave Edge. And again, we did get that daily green cross the other day. Now we just followed up with a dump today, which means, it's very possible that we could, get some upside. Again, these daily green crosses have been acting as a very good buy signal in the past, and especially in this uptrend that we've been in, illustrated many times by Thomas Thomas from Team Underground as well. He's been illustrating this many times over. But again, we have other signals pointing that we have not bottomed yet. You can see that the MACD is starting to roll over even more here. You're going to see a potential continuation on the daily time frame. Same thing on the 4-hour. However, the 4 hours, the momentum is starting to slow here, but no real indication that a low is in for Bitcoin. Let's keep going here, and let's take a look at the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. So the Nasdaq, I'll just show you guys the QQQ, which is basically the same thing as the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq ran into some resistance a couple days ago. We got a 2% pullback from there. No real confirmation that we're going to keep going. No real big volume in any sell-offs that, in terms of the SPY, the QQQ. But overall, if the Nasdaq were to make a higher high, then potentially I would take a look at 348 to 350. That would be another area that I would take a look at if we were to run into some resistance. Again, I don't think that we are going to get to this level here, because again, that would be another, I would say, 5% pump to the upside if we were to get up to that level. And again, I think the market is starting to top out here in terms of the S&P and the Nasdaq, but who knows? The Nasdaq could very easily run up another 5% with the S&P just, from these levels. If we were to reach 4250, then that would mean that we would have to go up about 3% in the S&P 500, which is very possible. The S&P could very easily climb 3%, no problem. And then that could, Nasdaq being the more volatile index, could easily get pushed up to that level I just illustrated, which is about 3% higher. Sorry, 5% higher. But we also have this downsloping trend line on the Nasdaq QQQ, whatever, which is a major trend line as well. And I've got my eye on this one as well. So I got my eyes on multiple levels. But this one for me would give you the most confidence for a short, and it would also come in line with another like 2.5% upside in the market. So we'll have to see if we end up tagging this level. This one's going to be on Tuesday, May 30th. And anyways, let's take a look at the Russell 2000, because the Russell 2000, we got a nice update a couple days ago, and we actually ended up getting rejected by the 200-day moving average, a nice topping tail as well. And even with the market rallying near the end of the day, we actually saw that the Russell 2000 was struggling. Let's take a look quickly at some regional banks here. Let's take a look at PacWest. Oops. PacWest, there we go. And we can see that PacWest also forming a bit of a topping tail right here. So again, this is not very bullish at all. You can take a look at the KRE. KRE, very similar pattern as well. Very big topping tail. You're running into some resistance right around these lows, right? You're just retesting this level as resistance. And now you can see that the KRE is starting to roll over once again. Now, if you get more downside in the KRE, maybe I'd take a look at this downsloping trend line. But overall, I would want to maybe take a look at some even further levels, like some farther out ones. Probably this level right here. You got a nice pivot low there, and a nice pivot low here. That would align very nicely for a potential low for the KRE. But if the KRE dips another 16%, that would spell more trouble in the regional banks, and then I would expect the S&P 500 to keep selling off as well. Now, I think that the market is nearing a top here, because now you're seeing a real detachment of where rates are going. You can see that the market knows where rates are going, and it's going to be higher for longer. So you can see that the bond yields are pricing in higher yields for longer. The 10 years moving up, 2 years moving up. If the 2-year gets anywhere near 5%, you got some really big trouble for the central bank. But overall, I think I don't think we're gonna get there. But what I want to point out is that you can see that the bond market is pricing in one thing, and then you can see that the stock market, like the Nasdaq, is pricing in another thing. And the bond market has always the smartest investors inside. And right now you can see that the equity investors are pricing in rate cuts, lower rates. They're gonna fold. Better get into these growth stocks now while the getting's good. It's only upside from here. Now, this is a very dangerous thing to do, because buying stocks near their all-time highs, or when they're making all-time highs, because if Nvidia opens at 385 tomorrow, Nvidia will be making a new all-time high, and then you're going to be buying the stock at a ridiculously overvalued level, and eventually it's always going to come back down to reality once the rates do not go down. And you can see that FSLR did a bit of a similar thing. You can see it had earnings. It actually dumped on earnings, but rallied on amazing news, rallied over 35% from its lows. And after that, you can see it was only downside from there. Reality came back down to the stock. Reality came back to the stock, and it is, it's been falling ever since. And you can see this ginormous pump here was FSLR announcing that they bought something like an $8 million company, but or it's like a $5 million company, but it added like $5 billion in value to the stock. It was absolutely insane. If the stock that they bought for $8 million, added $5 billion in value to the stock, why wasn't the stock valued at $5 billion that they bought it for? right? So you're just seeing that detachment right now. It's all hype and emotions, and you're gonna get that similar thing in Nvidia tomorrow. So we're probably gonna be adding to our short position on Nvidia. Again, keep going. Who cares? Let the market rise. Eventually, the reality is going to come back, and the equity market is going to realize that the Fed is serious about keeping rates higher for longer, and until the inflation is back to 2%. Although I do not think the inflation is ever going back to 2%. I think once the market starts to roll over and crater, they are going to cut rates. But by then, it will be far too late. As you know, the Fed is always too late to the party. Anyways, taking a look at the DXY. DXY made a new high today as well, and it is looking like the uptrend is continuing. My next level of resistance is going to be right around 104.1. If we get to that level, you could potentially maybe take some profits if you are long the DXY. And actually, talking about taking some profits, you can see our trader here inside the Crypto Mickey Discord. Congratulations to the gold members or the crypto members. You guys caught an amazing 119% trade today. Hayden posted this trade a couple days ago, shorting Bitcoin right here. Where's the trade signal? Right there. He posted his trade right around 27,400, and he was up over 120% today. So congratulations if you guys caught that trade. That was an amazing call. Moving on here, let's take a look at the oil chart. I think oil has a very good chance of getting to $77 to $79. I would start to potentially inch into my short right around 75. But now that I look at the pattern, it's looking very likely that we're gonna get to 77. So I might just hold off on that and just wait till we get to 77 and then add to it if we get to 79. After all, 79 is only another 3% move from there. So I'll just be patient, wait on the sidelines, and wait to get onto my oil short, as I do believe oil is going significantly lower in these markets. Taking a look at Nat Gas. Nat Gas had a nice update today, up to 2.5%. Nothing really from this giant sell-off that we got the other day, but overall it's still holding. It's still holding this very important level, this pivotal level that we're retesting as support now. Right, it was resistance, 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 and then we broke out. Now we're retesting as support. If all goes well, then we should be heading to at least $2.70, as high as maybe through $2.90. Okay, that's it for Nat Gas. Let's take a look at gold here. Gold, again, gold looking very bearish, actually doing some bearish consolidation. It is holding the support level for now. But from what I see, I think gold has another low in it. I think it could potentially get as low as 1927 to 1930, at which point we might get a nice bounce from there, from this upsloping trend line. But anything now, I don't really have a trade on gold. Now let's take a look at silver here. So silver getting very close to that 50% retracement level. We are getting pretty oversold on the RSI, but no bottom signal yet. However, we are forming a very nice bullish divergence at the moment. It might be getting invalidated here if we make another low, and if we get another drop in silver and then the 4-hour time frame keeps selling off, then in my opinion, I think you're probably going to be heading down to $22.30, at which point you're going to tag the 618, and it's going to be in confluence with my very big support box right here. So actually that would be a very nice long area if I were to get in on a trade on silver. All right, anyways, let's take a look at the Bitcoin hash ribbons. No cross yet, so Bitcoin could very easily dip down here and keep pumping up after. I think what you might see in Bitcoin is a potential dip, a potential drop to 24K, and then you're going to get a quick reversal after that. So I'm going to be waiting to get into a long position on Bitcoin. I'm going to be going a little bit heavier on this one. Again, I'll post my trade inside the Discord for you guys, for the gold members and the crypto members. For the stock members, you guys are going to get my stock signals. Like today, we took some nice profits on our option trades on Cody, and we actually bagged some very nice gains today. I think it was over 25% on those Cody puts that we've been holding, and those were nicely in the money, so we shaved off some gains there. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Really appreciate it. We're almost at 25,000 subscribers. Once we get there, we are going to do that big giveaway that I promised. Love you all. Peace.